Good afternoon, everyone. I'm here to discuss a little bit about crafting a guitar solo by primarily thinking modally in one particular major scale. Modes of a major scale are 7 different positions of the exact same major scale. So a lot of guitar players starting out, a lot of musicians in general, are particularly used to playing and soloing in the major scale, ascending and descending, and also the minor blues pentatonic scale, as this one right here. And the major scale could be in any 12 positions on the guitar, in any 12 notes. In this case right here, I am tuned in standard D tuning as opposed to standard E tuning. So the example I'm going to give today on what I mean by crafting a guitar solo using the 7 different modes of one particular major scale while playing over, say, a 1-chord minor 7 vamp. What I really mean is the way that I kind of figured out a lot of the different voicings and the notes and bending phrases, if you will, practicing that I did over the years was simply just learning the neck board. And if you pick one particular major scale in one particular key, in this case I'm going to do F, or in the position of G it would be F. So if you practice starting on the root, you have the Ionian position. If you start on the 2 note, it would be Dorian position. On the 3rd note, it would be Phrygian. Then the 4th would be Lydian. The 5th would be Mixolydian. 6 would be Aeolian. And last but not least, we have Locrian. So that getting up to about 2 octaves of the same exact major scale in F right here. This is what it sounds like. Now doing that in 2 octaves, I'm playing all 7 modes right there. What I'm trying to get at is that a lot of guitar players will start off when they're in their lessons by doing the minor blues pentatonic, which is cool because it has 5 notes that are within that similar major scale. The minor 7-chord vamp, which is very common in a lot of songs that a lot of blues musicians and jam band artists will technically write, is this chord based right here. It's primarily your standard minor chord, except you flatten the 5, or actually, excuse me, you don't play the 5 because it's on the A string. You tend to mute it out, but you flatten, you play the minor 7, which in this case would be F, and you have your G on the bottom right there, and that would be your minor 7 chord right there. And in some instances, in this chord, you're technically playing the major 6, which would be an E right here. And then you have your F right here, which would be the minor 7 of, if you think of it as G minor or A minor, whichever way you want to look at it, this would be the minor 7 right here, and this would be the major 6. And this technically, this chord with this right here, falls into the Dorian mode position of a major scale in G right here. That's your G major chord right there. Here's your A minor chord, or G minor chord again, because I'm in drop tuning. But anyways, so the way I view it is that by learning all the different notes of the G major scale, or any major scale for that matter, I then over time began looking at the notes differently throughout the fretboard of the guitar, and found those notes in various different positions by basing it off of how to play the modes of the major scale that I chose here. So this would be in the Ionian position. Then you can play the Dorian position up a whole step, all the same notes. Then you have the Phrygian. Lydian, you can do a half step up. So right there, over time, I began arpeggiating the notes of the G major scale and forming these different chords and these different lines to play over the 1-chord vamp in either a trio, a 4-piece band, or a 6-piece band. It doesn't necessarily have to be any particular amount of members that are in the band. So over time, you can practice, picking, sweeping, or just arpeggiating and playing different lines. Your basic blues line right there, or you can do like. And you just form all these different sorts of chords and different sorts of lines. You can start skipping lines as you're playing. Because all those notes fall within that one particular major scale that fits over the minor 7 vamp that I'm talking about right there. So you've got another guitar player that you're comping with, or your bass player is holding down the line. You got another guitar player going. Just one chord all day. And you just start laying down basic riffs. Then you can start getting different with the modes, thinking modes with the different notes. While never losing that pentatonic feel. Couldn't not go one solo without going a little bit weird. But that's in a nutshell a little bit of the way that I think about improvising, using the exact 7 notes in one particular major scale over a minor 7 vamp without getting into any crazy half-whole diminished scales or whole tone patterns or whatever. This is just kind of a basic way that I go about thinking about improvising on the spot over a cover song or an original song that I might do on the fly. And I try to never do a solo the exact same way. I try to do it different each and every time. And what's most important to me is that even though a lot of the modal soloing might be repetitive sometimes to some people, I try to do it differently with different feel, different timing, holding the notes a little bit more. Like how B.B. King and Buddy Guy would be able to play. Or, you can kind of play a little bit fast, not picking every single note. But a good way for musicians and guitar players to think about playing modally on a minor 7 vamping or a 2 to 3 chord vamp is, along with the pentatonic scale, just learn the modes of a major scale and just practice it over and over again. Find those same notes in that major scale throughout the neck board, bend them a little bit, bend them a whole tone, bend them a half tone. Just get used to kind of combining those notes with different chords. And that's a lot of where I get my thought process in, and I try to do it different every single time. So that's it on that little topic today. I hope that kind of cleared up a little things as far as soloing and modes and everything. And I'm getting new to my iPad here, so bear with me as far as looking into the camera and playing my guitar at the same time. I'll be posting more videos of covers, originals, and some guitar techniques as we go along. Have a great day.